Hello everybody. Hi guys. We are finally live. We're running about 5-7 minutes late. Took us a little bit of time to collate a little bit of data and get everybody here. Would love to hear yes, hello, hi. We're audible. And while you go ahead and do that, also a couple of things that you all can go ahead and do in the chat box. This is something I pointed out in the first impressions as well. Right now, I will repeat it in the chat box. Please go ahead and mention what were the attempts section wise. VARC DILR quant. So अगर 10 12 14 है तो मतलब VARC 10 है, 12 DILR है and 14 quant है. Mention your attempts. And also as per you the LOD. EEE means easy, MMM means moderate, DDD means difficult. We got a few of you all to do that during the first impressions. We got to know a little bit. We'll get to know a lot more if you are able to go ahead and do the same right now. Having said that, we'll officially go ahead and kickstart the in-depth analysis for slot 3. Tarush का already आ गया है. MDM 12, 10 and 4 as the attempts for Kanak. 17, 9 and 12 from Anirudh. MMM. Interesting. So it'll be great if more of you all go ahead and fill this in. This is what the paper was. The pattern was exactly the same as what it was in the other two slots. The surprise element being 22 questions in DILR across all three slots and no para jumbles in verbal, which I think was the best surprise that one could have gotten in this paper. 3 more questions were no guesswork, but you could actually go ahead and attempt them seriously and hopefully get a few marks.
I think students had expected this. कि पैराजम्बल नहीं होने वाला है. So I think that was a good mindset to have.
Ekdam perfect, lovely mindset to have. Nothing better than that. And yeah, having said that, I'll probably ask Abhilasha and Rahul to take us through the verbal section and get a little deeper into VARC. So over to you all, Rahul and Abhilasha.
Right. So I think if you look at it, as discussed in the first impressions, we had a mixed up order in terms of traditionally all the RC used to come together and then we would get verbal separately. That didn't happen. In fact, the first question I opened up, it was a para summary kind of a question, right? But let's take it as RC first and then looking at the others. So if you look at it, I think all the 4 passages were easy to read. And that's a big plus because it, kind of allows you to spend more time on questions, right? And yes, they were double negatives, which is to be expected these days in CAT. So that's a plus. The good thing is there were no triple negatives, right? The good thing in double negatives is they both get cancelled out each other, right? If you remember basics of algebra, like minus into minus is plus kind of stuff. So
I think that was a blessing that we did not have any triple negatives.
So दोनों निकाल दो, unlikely to agree and accept. दोनों निकाल दो तो बच्चा agree है. So it's a easier way to look at it in that sense. Yes. So among these, what did you feel was the one where the questions were tricky? Readability wise, I don't think any of the passages were difficult to read.
I think all the 4 passages were so easy to read. It was just like a cakewalk. In fact, I was reading through the paper and I just was able to finish the paper so quickly. At least our section, I was able to just finish it so quickly. Generally, I'm able to do only 3 plus the VA questions. So that I felt was an absolute plus for anyone who was writing this test. The passages were absolutely easy. And the questions also, if you look at the questions, there were so many questions to play with also. There were interestingly 2 tone questions, which I felt made life so much easier. You could just quickly do those questions. Then there were some, of course, undermine, accept, which I think was a slightly tricky one. But other than that, more or less, the questions also did not feel very difficult. If we came to the options, some of the options were very close. Some of them, I won't say all of them also for that matter. So I felt that this was a fairly easy to moderate-ish kind of a paper where somebody who's good at reading would have been able to pick up and just do their 14, 15 questions, however many you were doing, very, very easily. And the blessing, yes, like you said, was that we started with para odd one out and then I went to a sentence placement. So I generally also like doing the VA questions. So when I saw that the first question was a an odd one out, I was like so happy. I just didn't have to do anything else. I was like, let's go and let's get in. And the first 5, 6 questions were all VA questions. So that kind of was a blessing for me. I remember at 27 minutes, I had done about 8 questions, and I was happy because that meant that my paper was going very well. And I think that was something that the students also felt, because I was while I was coming out of my center, some of the kids were talking and they were just saying, हाँ ये मुझसे हो रहा था. So that हो रहा था also is such a kick, because VA is that first section that kind of sets the tone for the entire paper. तो मेरे को ये लगा that this was a very very good paper in the terms that in the sequences that we had, in the terms of passages which were very readable. So that I felt was a very very good thing in
Right.
terms of
So,
the
very
paper.
quickly, we were able to quickly identify sources for 3 of the passages.
Right.
2 of them are from Economist. Remember, I think last year Slot-2 also had couple from Economist. Overall, there were 4 passages from Economist last time. So once again, we have 2 at least in this slot, and 1 from Huffington Post. So
Yes.
we'll probably figure out the third one also. The one was article written by Yuval Noah Harari, who wrote that book *Sapiens*. So the one on AI is what his particular one. So languages was probably where the questions were a bit close. Rest I think were doable, but the other side there were questions which were 20 seconds. That also helps as far
Yes.
as the number of keeping the number of attempts high. So that I think is a critical part to look at. Theta goes down because parajumbles are not there. So obviously they were that parajumble and OPJ are the only thetas that used to come. So PJ is not there anymore. So theta is restricted to only OPJ. Right?
But sir, the idea was that because there were no PJs, it made life a little easier. You knew that there were no parajumbles, so that struggle of setting up the sentences and finding the sequence, even though you don't have a negative, but still that struggle was just not there. So that kind of, I felt, made this paper a slightly easier paper.
On a personal note, I've always found this idea of students attempting parajumbles because it is theta problematic, because then they are only factoring that they're not getting a negative. They're not factoring the amount of time that is getting wasted.
Correct.
Right? This is an exam where time is your enemy. The -1 is actually okay. Losing time is a much bigger problem. And I'm sure we see that in DI. You pick the wrong set, doesn't matter if it is theta or not theta. The time that you lost is amazing. And that's a big issue. So that was a good part. Among the para summary, I think there was one on trad wife.
Yeah,
Which
that was very tricky.
Right.
Oh,
The options were.
that was my first question.
Oh, you
I
started
think,
with the toughie, sir, then.
I think Shivu, you and I got the same. I think the say what is
the same sequence maybe.
Same sequence of questions. So I also started with TradWife. Thankfully, I just moved to RC straight away, so that was a good part. But yes, TradWife is one of those rare questions where even getting it down to 2 choices is tough.
Yes.
Rahul, तुम्हारे इसमें first 6 questions are verbal?
Yes, first 5 or 6.
So मेरे में भी,
first
I
6
also had
Right.
first
First 6
5
were verbal.
questions were all verbal. Then the 6th was an RC.
So that was one tricky part. Then I think in the para completion, there was a sentence placement, you could call it, which I just found. It is from CNN.
The Nepam wala.
Somalia one.
The Nepam girl. It's,
The Nepam girl. Okay.
That was
Right,
the
so
last question that I had.
and it's tricky because when you try your normal connections, it says the picture. So okay, where do you get the picture? You will see that connections are there to a lot of sentences. It
Yeah.
fits
I
in
know,
other
yeah.
places. And
I mean,
then it depends on perspective. How would you like to take it? Do you think that author is trying to go in this sequence or that sequence and both look plausible? So that was probably a tricky one.
Right.
But that aside, it's difficult to find more tricky questions. And if I'm unable to find more than 4 or 5 tricky questions in VA, then it's definitely easier than the traditional VA as such.
Definitely.
And every one of the RC passage was, I think, easy to read, probably because the sources were not not the journals or not the research articles or something. Simple. मुझे लग रहा है कि सारे के सारे जो न्यूज़पेपर एडिटोरियल से उठाया ऐसे लग रहा था.
That kind of stuff. So CNN is a very general magazine, general
Yeah.
news media. It's not a specialized news media. It's just, again, a general
This
magazine.
time, apparently, there were no research papers that they picked up the articles from.
Right.
So
No
no
research
abstracts. So no
no
stress
book
on that
excerpts
count.
from a very tough book or something like
Yes,
that. Would be-
yes.
Excuse me, I'll just come in for a minute to
Yeah, sure.
appease the questions which are coming up in the chat box.
Yes.
Guys, all the questions always end up being around quant and DILR. कि उसको solve करो, उसका आंसर दो. हमारे पास नवीन है जो slot 3 लिख के आए हैं, जो उसके बारे में बात
नवीन
करेंगे.
सारे करके आया, डीएस पूरा करके आया, क्वांट पूरा करके आया.
Awesome.
So बस और क्या चाहिए?
Wow.
So we have 5 DILR sets there and 22 quant questions to be discussed. But let's hear verbal because that's going to be the game changer basis what we are seeing in slot 1 and 2. So please don't jump to just DILR and quant. Verbal में अगर marks नहीं आए, cut off नहीं हुआ तो it will be a problem. So please focus. Yeah, over to you.
Right. So I think broadly, yes, attempts should go up a little bit. And when attempts go up, if you're able to maintain accuracy, which in this paper was possible, then the scores would go up. Right. This is something that I've kept saying, that anybody attempting less than 18 is not doing justice to the paper, because 18 with even 12 correct out of 18 will probably get you a 95 plus. And if somebody is attempting 20 and getting say 70% or 75%, 1 out of 4 going wrong, and you'll still probably get 99. So that kind of a thing. Unlike quant, where we encourage you to be a little more selective, unlike DI, where you say be careful in selecting sets, verbal, you have to be a little more, attempt heavy, and you're okay with a more moderate accuracy as compared to quant and LRDI.
And so the idea was that this paper, you could have done all 24 questions in verbal. It was very doable. So once we start talking to students, I'm sure we will have so many people who would have attempted all the questions here. And
Yes.
that meant that you could have, gotten a much higher score also. So that way is very easy, very comfortable.
Probably, well, we
paper.
said 42, slightly more than last year. I would not be surprised if it goes up a little more also. Maybe another
So
2-3 marks.
42, 44 is what I was also anticipating.
I
Somewhere
would
between
not be surprised if it goes to 44, 45. Again,
Yeah.
purely from the attempts perspective.
Correct.
Purely from the attempts perspective. Vivku, anything on your side?
देखो,
Did you find
I compare with my own performance because I'm going to be a guy who's like I haven't touched too much of. I do section tests from cat to cat only as far as verbal is concerned, right? So obviously, last year I managed to attempt 18. This year I did all the 24.
So clearly,
Right.
yeah.
So to me, it's a very clear. I thought the paper was easier. So hence, I would assume that, and I didn't find that except for एक दो जगह पे जो except वाला जो वो double negative वाला था, double negative वाला भी जहाँ पे था इतना difficult नहीं था. सिर्फ शायद एक वाले में मुझे 2 बार 3 बार पढ़ना पड़ा. बाकी सब तो ठीक ही लग रहे थे. So I think last year का जितना भी whatever is the thing, I think it will definitely go up, in my view, by at least 1.5 questions. That's my view.
Good. I think that's probably good. We should move over and not keep the students waiting who are looking for the quant and DI questions.
Gunpowder वाला आंसर क्या था पूछ रहा है? Metaphorical क्या था?
Metaphorical, substantive.
Substantive. Then there was one which was literal कुछ था ना?
हाँ. Metaphorical, literal, substantive, and
there was one more.
So I think that was metaphorical.
Yeah, metaphorical. I mean, मुझे उसमें.
So that was just a 2-second question.
So it can't be actual gunpowder. There's nothing to actually blow up. So it should be.
Synonymical. Somebody Tanush का वैसे synonymical मुझे मालूम नहीं है क्या synonymical equivalent तो नहीं था. तो मेटाफोरिकल तो बहुत ऑब्वियस आंसर लग रहा था मुझे वहां पे.
हाँ, so it was very clearly metaphorical. There was no option that you had to pick other than that. It was a very clear metaphor.
So that was तो DI चलते हैं GB.
Yeah, let's move to DILR and over to Shivku, Naveen, probably to take us through this. Naveen, you could even probably go ahead and share a blank slide where you could probably discuss some of the questions.
मुझे आंसर्स सब याद नहीं है, but I thought the first set, the last set of my section was that GDPI वाला, which I thought was like उसमें दिमाग ज़्यादा नहीं है, सिर्फ परसेंटेज, consecutive परसेंटेज लेनी है, एक के एक डिवाइड करना है. And unfortunately my calculator was so lousy. वो आप 1 लिखो तो 111 आता था, right? 2 लिखो 1 point लिखो तो I struggled with that. I don't know if anybody had a problem with this. Calci, my calculator was
I didn't
horrible.
use the Calci. I didn't check the Calci today actually. Can't comment in slot 1 at least.
I had to use in one question in slot 3.
It's typically when you have to do things like consecutive percentage increases for 3 years, 5 years. That is when. See, when you had answer choices, then you probably didn't need it because you know that हो जाएगा कि the numerator by denominator इतना difference है कि वो जो small 2% consecutive changes से कोई ज़्यादा फर्क नहीं पड़ने वाला है. But when you don't have, when you have to do theta, then you need to get into it. Thankfully, इसमें ज़्यादा theta नहीं थे ना. I think the GDP questions में ज़्यादा theta नहीं थे.
नहीं वो प्रोटीन वाले में सारे कार्बोहाइड्रेट्स प्रोटीन वाले में सारे थीटा थे.
उसमें all 4 were theta. The last set.
That was for. So the GDP wala was the I that was the first one that I did. Then I went to carbohydrates wala, right? Because वो थोड़ा table बड़ा बनाना था paper में थोड़ा I needed little more space. Then the third one I tried doing the OTT. I missed something in OTT, right? I don't know what I missed. I had to come back to it later.
I thought it was an easy one. When I got in, I said something is not making sense.
वो others में I got confused. Others, it said 2 categories, and the third category was others, and then it said others.
Actually, there is
some people used this, and others used multi-app. मैं बोला कि कौन सा others है?
Actually, OTT platform है और single app and other app है. So it's almost like somebody is reaching the same OTT platform through different apps. Something that is where the confusion happened. So
I started it. Then थोड़ा मुझे confusion हुआ. Then when I went to the ATM wala was easy because it was all number based, right?
Maybe we could do one thing. If Naveen remembers, then probably set by set we can pick up and just discuss the questions.
याद है क्या नवीन? numbers सब याद है?
Numbers याद आना थोड़ा मुश्किल है नहीं?
मेरे पास लिखा हुआ है. अभी मेरे साथ ये है कि वो when I get into solving question, I get shock. वो 1-1.5 घंटे के बाद I start realizing, अच्छा ये भी question था. Okay, that was the answer. अभी थोड़ा time लगेगा. It is just what 1 hour हुआ है ना, 2 hours हुआ है. अभी आ जाएगा धीरे-धीरे करके solve करते-करते.
नहीं, अभी जब discussion होगा ना तो याद आते हैं.
Bits वाला. So it was, हाँ वो याद आना शुरू हो जाएगा. अभी नीचे आते-आते मुझे 22 questions पूरे याद है. वहाँ बाहर निकल के आया भी नहीं. So kids, elders and others वाले जो questions,
हाँ ठीक है.
कौन कर लेते?
नहीं वो कर लो. Sorry, I thought कि याद आने के लिए तुमको.
You're starting with quant or DLR?
अच्छा नहीं, I have DLR ही कर लेते. So kids, elders and others वाले में the thing was the bar graph that was given. It was
kids
given for
elders
kids.
का था.
पहला.
Kids or elders 2023-2024.
हाँ. 15% and 20% given था for 2 years, and basically I'll use a different color though. So 15%, and next year it was 20%, and for elders it was I think it was 20% in the 2023, and then it was 30%, and they had mentioned that there are 3 categories. ये हमारा elders का. So basically I drew a table. I was like, we have got kids, we have got elders, and then we have got others, and 2023 is the year and 2024 is the year. Total, they have told us that if it was 100, next year it was 10% more. 15% of 100 उतने kids थे, next year 20 kids थे, elder 20 थे, अब 30% हो गए तो ये 33 हो गए. Others obviously इधर से subtract करके हमें 65 and I think it was sorry, this was 22 and this is going to be 55. ये data आ गया था. And then in the additional statements, one of the statements they were talking about itna 1,000. So I think
10,000 subscribers ऐसे कुछ था.
23 में
10,000 subscribers
तो
थे.
ये 15 में से वो 1 वाले थे. तो remaining 5,000 जो हो जाएंगे वो multi वाले हो जाएंगे. Right? And in 23 में kids वाले जो थे multi, that was elders का 1 वाला. So in 2023, kids multi was same as elders का 1 वाला. So I drew this table and I was like, I think I'll have to draw a table again where I'll have to further bifurcate every kids, elders, others into 1 and multi. But then I realized कि ये simple numbers है, simple. मेरे को दोबारा बनाने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ी. Frankly, after doing this set, I was like कि ये CAT में नहीं आ सकता. अगर मैंने सुबह का एनालिसिस नहीं देखा होता and realized that these sets were relatively easier than the last 2 years, मैं पक्के से इस पे ना 5 मिनट और लगाता कि कुछ तो मैं जबरदस्ती का बहुत आसान सोच रहा हूँ. It was that easy. There was nothing to be done much. Questions were very straightforward. Others के ऊपर there were, I think, 1 question. Then there was minimum percentage who can use multiple apps. Percentage in elders from 23 to 24 कितना increase हुआ है. सीधे पूछा है कि ये कितना % increase हुआ है. ऐसे पूछा बस. मेरे को तो actual magnitude का भी जरूरत नहीं है. So very straightforward.
But नवीन, slot 2 में भी एक ऐसा सेट था जो देखने में डरावना लगता था, बट सवाल ऐसे ही थे. It was pure DI and ratios ही निकालने थे उसमें. 5-7 मिनट का सेट था वो.
So last year, sir, I think
if you remember the answers, students asking, अगर याद हो answers.
I have the questions. अभी मैं एक बार वो करके मैं बता देता हूँ.
तो इसमें एक काम करते हैं ना, क्वांट कर लेते हैं. क्वांट सभी लोग क्वांटिटी
You put your answers. Guys, you put your answers in the chat box.
You guys put your answers. हम लोग ना वो अभी collate कर रहे हैं. So once we'll have
378 कुछ आया, 65%, 20%.
नहीं वो तो PNC का क्वेश्चन था. 378.
अच्छा, 65%, 20% ऐसा कुछ है percentages.
इसमें हाँ, इसमें there was 1 question which was 65,000, CBD 45,000 and 55,000. One question was this. जिसका आंसर I think 65 या 45 था.
महफूज सिंह 45 के.
One of these two. It was not CBD.
तो percentages
there was another question जहाँ पर percentage of percentages पे भी questions थे. 2 questions, 3 questions percentages पे थे इसमें. Excuse me. One was minimum percentage of those who use multiple apps. So multiple apps में kids का दोनों year का पता चल गया था, elders का पता चल गया था. And since we are asked the minimum percentage, तो others में आप किसी को मत लो. I think the options were 22, 20, 10 and 16.5. जहां तक मुझे याद है इसका आंसर 20 था.
20% था. मैंने शौर्या बोल रहा है.
One question was percentage kids 2023 का था या total था. Percentage kids
percentage increase from 23 to 24
जिनका multiple apps थे 2023 as overall. So the options नहीं थे. ये टीटा क्वेश्चन था. नहीं options थे. 33.33 था, 50 था, 5 था and 25.5 था. इसका आंसर 33.33 आया था. And there was one question which was percentage of कुछ तो था, something elders from 2023 to 24. Whether it was overall or whether it was one or multi apps, किसी एक का कैटेगरी का था या overall था. The options were 40, 60, 50 and 65. I think this का आंसर था 65. यही था. 20 से 33 हो गया, कितना परसेंटेज इंक्रीज है? ये ऐसा सवाल. कैलकाटा.
तो कैलकाटा करके ऐसे कुछ नहीं है, ये
नहीं,
सब हवा है.
शिवू कैलकाटा का लोग एक्सपेक्ट करते हैं ना मुश्किल आएगा.
कौन सा, आई मीन मुझे तो मैं 25 साल में कोई पैटर्न नहीं देखा हूँ. लोगों को पैटर्न दिखता है. कैलकाटा
लोग
होने
अपना
से
पैटर्न
difficult-
बना लेते हैं ना.
पैटर्न नहीं, जो हाइप होता है ना कि
Hype,
कैलकाटा
it is
होगा
the-
तो
it is
डिफिकल्ट होगा.
the
कैलकाटा में
quant college.
quant and LRDI.
So
अच्छा, मैं एक क्वांट पहले कर लो कि कट हो जाएगा सबका आंसर्स.
आई थिंक वो कर लेते हैं पहले क्वांट. तब तक नवीन कुछ याद भी कर लेगा.
डीए मैच्योर होके
मुझे देखिए अभी याद आना शुरू हो गया ना आंसर्स धीरे धीरे करके. पहले में गेस वर्क था, बाकी तीन याद आ गया. ओके, दिस वाज द लास्ट. I actually attempted initially 18 या 19 questions. One go में होते चला गया. So it was sitter या round one था. I was like नहीं कर रहा मैं round wise. 3-4 questions were really they were not easy. वो bugging था. For example, this was the question that I did in the end. और मेरे से नहीं निकला.
2 log 2 है ना?
हाँ वही बोल रहा हूँ, मेरे से ये नहीं निकला. So I was like, 81 है, there is going to be a log that will come out.
Just a reco, Ravi. Sorry, Naveen. Just a reco. We can just look at the question, the stems, and the answers. Solutions we'll do later. We'll keep.
Don't worry about it.
हाँ.
इसका आंसर 2
let's
log
just
2
get
था.
to answers.
गौतम सर्कल कर दे. हाँ, 2 log 2.
सेकंड वाले का 9
था.
इस वाले का 7:9.
7:9.
इस वाले का 25. इस वाले का 5 and 3 8.
So for students' benefit, we can just
इस
repeat.
वाले
Naveen, if you just go back for students' benefit, you can just probably repeat the question stem and the answer. So sum of all distinct real values 10 to the power of x plus 4 by 10 to the power of x का 2 log 2. Remainder of 10 power 68 by 13 का 9. R equals 20 hectare, V equals 30 hectare. Wheat is to mustard का ratio 7:9. This seems like what? 2 successive increase, percentage increase का salary increase. So percentage of salary in first year 25%. Then A plus B root 3 whole squared equals 52 plus 30 root 3. ये तीनों slot में ऐसा एक question आया. All 3 slots. Answer of A plus B is 8. Yeah, Naveen.
Next one was WhatsApp forwarded. 2 is equal to 3, 3 is equal to 4. वो वाला है. So we had to multiply all of them and we will get 3 to the power A, B, C, D, E, F, 9 to power theta. This one was the question where I had to use calculator to be sure कि ये हो जाएगा. इसका आंसर
9 ना शायद.
9 आ रहा है.
इसी में मेरे 3 मिनट लगा कैलकुलेटर में करने में इसको.
This was basically वो तो कैट देता ही है. 2024 cat year है. 2024 तक का sum का था. I have not written the sum that they were asking. इसके आधे का square था आंसर. So basically 12 का square करना था. It will only end in 44. There was only one option. This is the kind of questions we have done numerous number of times.
I think अपने mock में भी आया है. One of the mocks has a question like this.
ये question number 8 भी mock में आया था सर. लेकिन we did not ask them alternate. We asked them sum of all. इसका आंसर आई थिंक वाज अच्छा, इसका ऑप्शंस ये नहीं थे.
अच्छा क्वेश्चन है.
इसका
कौन से स्लॉट के सवाल है?
सम ऑफ ऑल पूछा था इसमें बेसिकली.
ये स्लॉट 3 के सवाल है स्नेहाशीष. आई होप आप इसी स्लॉट में थे.
इट वाज थीटा आई थिंक एंड
हां, दिस वाज द थीटा.
3 था इसका आंसर. 3 या 4 था.
3 या 4 था यार शायद. I mean,
4
I
था.
don't
1 and
remember.
3 आ रहा था. 1 and 3 आ
हाँ,
रहा था.
I think it was 4.
अच्छा, so I was writing down the questions. So मैं इसको अब type करने की जगह I will write down the questions. Question number 10 was
एक सेकंड. वो PNC वाला.
So, Naveen, question 6 on the screen, the answer is 2, right?
हाँ, 2 है, 2. हाँ.
So, Snehalata, it's 2, it's not 3. So, I hope confusion नहीं है उसमें. Sagar is asking about question
3 to the
8.
power of something is equal to 9 आता है.
Yeah. Sagar is asking about question 8. Sir, isn't question 8 about sum of -1, -3, -5, -7?
yes, which is sum of consecutive odd numbers, which is same as जितने numbers है odd numbers उसका square.
Square.
Next question was up to 500. How many numbers?
How many distinct digits?
With distinct digits.
इसका
तो ये मेरा पहला
370,
क्वेश्चन था.
इसका 378 कुछ था शायद.
हाँ, 378. तो सिंगल डिजिट वाले का था 9, डबल डिजिट का होगा 81 और 3 डिजिट का होगा 288. So total was 378.
एक मिक्सचर्स एंड सॉल्यूशंस वाला था.
हाँ,
याद है?
हाँ, अभी तो सारे 22 के 22 याद है.
हाँ, ठीक है करते जाओ.
अब तो सारे लिख लिए. We had a regular octagon और उसके अंदर जिसका साइड्स 6 सेंटीमीटर था. Alternate vertices join करेंगे तो we will get a square. What is the area of this square was asked. The answer was I think 36(2) plus √2. ये आंसर था.
अच्छा, सिमिलरली वो एक ट्रायंगल का भी आया था ना, मीडियन midpoints.
Yes. So there was this triangle. We joined the midpoints of the sides, then we again joined the midpoints of the sides. Indirectly, that's what they meant.
हाँ, correct. वो लेकिन वो लोगों को चमकना पड़ेगा, because he's saying कि people have to interpret that.
Yes. So this is it's going to be 1/4 of 1/4 of 1440. 1440 was the area of triangle ABC. They gave
90
yes,
है
इसका आंसर 90. ये I think थीटा था.
हाँ, करेक्ट. और एक और था वो सर्कल और कॉर्ड का.
हाँ, so there was a circle, there was a chord of length 10√3 and the angle it makes is 120 degrees, and they had asked us what is the area of this particular segment, smaller one. इसका आंसर था
25 by into
25
4 pi by 3 ऐसे कुछ था.
-3.
हाँ, ऐसे कुछ था.
Then we had question number 14.
Time and work. Sam, iron and something ना.
हाँ, so एक TSD का एक ही क्वेश्चन था, which was the kind of question जो हमेशा ऑप्शन से करना preferable होता है, otherwise equation wise it will take more time. So it was like a distance is covered. If it takes 6 hours more, speed will be 6 km/h less, or if it takes 4 hours less, speed is going to be 6 km/h more. It was an MCQ. इसका आंसर 720 किलोमीटर था.
दूसरा वो टाइम एंड वर्क वाला 3/10 था आंसर.
हाँ, 3/10 था. So there were 3 people basically. So मैं उसको बताता हूँ.
छोड़ दे, सब लोगों को समझ में आएगा. सैम, आयन एंड
all students have gotten 3/10. We can move ahead.
हाँ, 3/10 था ये टाइम एंड वर्क का क्वेश्चन. Okay.
Mixtures and solutions में एक water was added to milk.
हाँ, 300 liters का एक container है wherein we have X liters of water added and remaining was milk. So this was basically a question on replacement, and from here 2X was replaced with water. Now once this was done, 72% water was present. So what is the value of X? The answer is 30 liters. So this was a theta question again. Next question was ट्रेन वाला हो गया. हाँ, एक गोपी जो है वो 20% मार्कअप करता है, and then Ravi को he gives 10% discount, because of which Ravi saves 15 rupees. So what was the income of, not income, what was the profit for Gopi? इसका आंसर 15 rupees था. Then there was this question. Mod पे आते हैं. Mod के दो questions थे.
Mod x minus y plus mod x plus y.
X plus y plus x minus y is equal to 2.
10.
How many solutions are there?
A lot of students saying profit and loss का ₹10 है आंसर.
अब 15 नहीं आना चाहिए. 20% मार्कअप हुआ तो 120 हुआ, 10% डिस्काउंट हुआ 108 हुआ, 12% इज इक्वल टू 15. 12% of CP is 15 ना. What you want is 8% of 15. 10 होना चाहिए इसका आंसर.
10 होगा.
है ना?
हाँ 15 देखो 12% डिस्काउंट इज 10% ना. So 120 का 10% निकालोगे 108 बचा. That means 12% of CP is 15. You want profit for Gopi, then that is 8% of CP, which should be 10 rupees.
ठीक है. Integral distinct solution was asked. इसका I think this was theta.
कितने सॉल्यूशंस पूछा था? कितने सॉल्यूशंस से पूछा था ना?
हाँ, number of integrals distinct solutions. इसका I don't know, 8 आया था. I think 4 at the vertices, 4 on the axis, because it will go from -1 to 1 and -1 to 1. So it's basically a square.
Correct.
I think it was 8.
Wait,
I think
let
it
me
was
see.
8.
I'm just forgetting this. इसका आंसर क्या डाला था?
What did you all get? I see a lot. I see 4, 6, 9, 5. सारे ऑप्शंस डाल दिए शायद.
So basically it is -1 1 हो गया. So basically it is +-1 here, +-1 इधर. उसके बाद we have +-1 and a 0, and then we have 0 and +-1. So basically 4 तो इधर आ गए, 2 इधर आएंगे और 2 इधर आएंगे. टोटल 8 आ रहा.
Basically 0 1 1 0 sorry 2 0 1 1 and 0 2. The two modulus that will be 2 0 1 1 or 0 2 से आ जाएगा.
Okay, then there was this question. ये मेरे को exact language याद नहीं है. It was max x, 2 minus mean x,
of x, 2
is equal to x plus 2 minus x minus 2. I don't remember whether, I don't think x was asked. I think it was asked कि इसकी value क्या होगी, शायद ऐसा कुछ पूछा था.
नहीं. How many values of x are there? How many values of x satisfy this condition?
अच्छा, how many values of x satisfy this condition था?
Yeah, sum of all the values ऐसे कुछ था.
हाँ, मुझे भी याद नहीं आ रहा है. Students क्या बता रहे हैं आंसर? I can't see.
Is the max min वाला what you are getting? How many values is what students are saying?
How many था?
मैंने इसका यशस is saying मैंने इसका तुक्का मारा 5.
नहीं होगा तो even types. -2 से 2.
Marmik is saying left.
अच्छा,
Juvi is saying 8. Sagar left.
I'll have to.
Sanyam is saying 2. So ये वाला solve करना होगा guys. Memory.
मुझे भी याद नहीं आ रहा है whether number of values did I get it as 2 or something. Right? I'm also. This was one of those last questions that I did.
एक linear equation का बहुत ही simple सा question था कि no solution चाहिए. And it was I don't remember the exact equations, but it was of the form AK plus P is equal to 0 या AP plus K is equal to 0. ये वाला option answer था. The other three were not definite answers, but this one was definite. क्योंकि question में लिखा था which of the following will definitely be true. Then we had a question which was set theory का range वाला boys and girls का. This was the last question I attempted.
हाँ correct set theory था. वो 72 to 80 ऐसे कुछ था ना?
So I don't remember the answer that I marked last 3 seconds. मैंने ये वाला बस कर लिया था. I think it was
एक average वाला भी था. एक average वाला भी था. Remember एक +5 हुआ, +5 होता है, एक -10 होता है, ऐसे कुछ है.
हाँ. So it was that the one of the numbers was I think minus.
I think if the averages question answer was 70.
25 और ये आ रहा था.
I to remember that question.
हाँ, so I remember it. There are 3 numbers whose average increases by नहीं, इससे 2 ज्यादा हो जाता है.
New average becomes 25, I think. No, the new average 27. Becomes 27. Original average was 28.
When this increases by 7, when this decreases by 10.
Middle number was 25, है ना?
So the new average becomes 2 more than the middle number, and the order of the numbers did not change. So ऐसा नहीं कि कोई बड़ा number छोटा हो गया, तो उसका sequence change हो गया. So this was 27. और question क्या पूछा था इसमें? Median पूछा? नहीं, median नहीं था.
नहीं, the difference between the.
No, the largest number they had asked. This is what they asked. इसका largest 80s में था शायद. I think it was in 80s. क्या बोल रहे हैं students?
Yes, just saying the question was 3 numbers जिनका mean 28 है. अगर smallest is increased by 10 and largest is reduced by 7, mean is B plus 2. ये question था.
What was the final
what
question?
Is B?
B middle number.
No, original
middle number. यशस का आंसर 70 आया था. गौतम सिंह का भी 70 आया था. There are some 2-3 students who are saying 70 आया था इसका आंसर.
अच्छा, अभी चेक कर लेते हैं. 84 सम चाहिए. -17
ये देख लो. ओमकार ने जो डाला है.
But like question क्या था? Question, what is the question?
Highest number की value बतानी है. Original highest number. कर लेते हैं इसको. सॉल्व करें या 70?
हाँ, सॉल्व कर लो यार. सॉल्व कर लेते हैं हाथों हाथ.
ठीक है. So we had 3 numbers जहां पर कि ये 25 हुआ करता था. Total 84 हुआ करता था. Larger number, this was the smaller number. Smaller number 7 से बड़ा था. Larger number 10 से कम हुआ था. And the sum turned out to be 81. This remained 25. Something else was given. एक और कुछ data given था. I'm missing that.
वो real numbers.
Because right now we have S plus L is equal to.
इसमें पंगा क्या है पता है? The question did not say integers. It said real numbers.
Yeah, it said real. That's why S was negative. S मेरा negative आया था.
One more condition was difference between C minus 7 and A plus 10 is equal to 64.
अच्छा, ये भी था शायद. Difference is 64.
इसमें 64 का difference था.
Okay. Then तो हो गया.
Okay. यही है ना हमारे पास. So S minus L was
B27 आ जाता है. ठीक है.
-83. If we add these two, sorry, if we sub, तो L की वैल्यू आ जाएगी 142 आ रहा है ना. 71. If the data is fine, it was 71. अगर डेटा में कोई दिक्कत नहीं हो.
-11, 25, 70.
So 2L is 42. L is 142.
84, 84, 71 नहीं हो सकता ना. So what is it? 71 and
140 आ रहा है ना, 142 आ रहा है,
Is the
140 आ
largest
रहा है.
value.
70 आएगा. 70
140.
आएगा.
140 आ रहा है,
2
140 by 2.
50. अच्छा ठीक है. This is नहीं ठीक है. This was 59, no? 59 plus 25 is 84, and we
We are
have
saying
S
56,
plus
not 59.
71. Okay, ठीक है. 70. ठीक है. Got it. So this was minus 81, and this is 140 by 2. This is 70. ठीक है. So 70 was the
70.
largest.
Question
this was the
20 का
22nd
a lot of
question.
students are asking. They are saying question 20 में it was something like 2a plus p is not equal to 0. ऐसा कुछ.
हाँ, but they are, I mean, there were 4 options, जिसमें से 3 options could be a scenario where there will be no solutions or they could not be. क्वेश्चन में लिखा था कि which of the following will be definitely give you no solutions. तो ये वाला आंसर, बस ये ऑप्शन आ रहा था, because if I put it back, it was giving me, I think it was minus 4 by k is not equal to 2 by a. ऐसा कुछ था.
A lot of students are saying 20 में एक ऐसा ऑप्शन था not equal to 0 वाला. Not equal to 0 वाला कोई ऑप्शन था. That might probably
दो
be the
ऑप्शंस
answer.
not equal to 0 थे, 2 equal to 0 था.
So they're saying not equal to 0 में
अच्छा,
से एक was the.
ठीक है.
Guys, the whole point is memory से अब जितना याद है उतना है. 22 questions पूरे लिख
not
दिए.
equal to 0 था
I
for
think
sure,
19,
but I'm
20.
saying that option which had AK, which had
Yeah,
AK
so,
वाला term ना.
Perfect. So 19, 20 questions or so, you know, we've been able to recollect completely. एक दो question we might not remember the options. I don't think it's that big a deal. Let's move to DILR. Naveen, quickly, जो भी याद है, we can just go through. Set ये था, उसके ये answers थे, rather than just getting deep into it, because we also have a consolidated analysis which will start in the next half hour. Would like to give students some time for dinner before we kickstart. And guys, please keep in mind that
So
while
one was
that
AC
happens, you should go to www.careerlauncher.com/cat and put in your details so that we can also go ahead and estimate a little bit better with respect to what the cutoffs would be. Slot 1 and slot 2 का upwards of 1000 input आ चुके हैं. Slot 3 का भी वो जैसे ही आ जाएगा, we'll be able to go ahead and estimate a little better. So please go ahead and do that. Yeah, Naveen, over to you.
So this one was Shivku sir did it. This was my last set, so very panic mode. Don't remember the answers. So in this we had questions ke in this duration that it is given, AC turned off how many times?
Our conditions
it was told us that अच्छा ठीक है, एक क्वेश्चन ये था. हाँ, outside temperature at 1 a.m. One question was outside temperature at 9 p.m. And there was one question was how many times AC was on or setting was altered. Options were 2, 3, 2 or 3 or more than 3. ये options थे. There was another question which was maximum difference between outside and inside temperature in this given duration. These were the 5 questions. तो sir याद है कुछ answers? I think last वाले का 5th वाले का 10 था क्या? 10 या 12?
याद नहीं है. I don't remember any of the answers.
What about the students? इसका शायद
ये मेरे ख्याल से कोई नहीं किया होगा. ये बहुत ही कम लोग किए होंगे वाला. 10 था शायद. But
Somebody saying 10, somebody saying I got 11.
शिव को अगर याद नहीं है तो आई थिंक लेट्स लीव इट एंड मूव टू द नेक्स्ट सेट.
हाँ,
Correct.
वैसे अपना दूसरा
Okay.
सेशन 9:30 को है.
Next. हाँ. फिर एक था carbohydrates, protein. So missing data set basically. और क्या थे दो? Fat and one more. Let's say others. These were the questions. और इसमें अच्छा carbohydrates, protein, fat and others यही था. There were two types of cereals, C1, C2. Then there were two types of millets. Sorry, three types, M1, M2, M3. And then there was pseudo cereals, which was P1 and P2. And some of the values were given, some of the values were missing. It was given that these three were multiples of 4. This one was multiple of 5, non-zero multiples. And मैं ये बना लेता हूँ so that this one was 62, this one was given as 56, this one was 66, this one was 10, this one was 14, this one was 0, 3, 7, 12, and then this one was 10, this one was 8, this one was 16, this one was 12, this one was 10. So the trick was to figure out the values here in each of the cells so that बाकी जो है 4 के multiple बचे, and there was one and only one way of doing it. The conditions were given that P1 and P2 carbohydrate and protein were larger than millets के, and cereals के C1 and C2 was larger than P1 and P2 का cereal. These two conditions were given, and multiple of 5 and multiple of 4 non-zero multiples. This table did not have cases. There was direct, straightforward values सीधे उसमें आ जा रहे थे. और questions were higher carb. So पहला question था higher carb per 100 gram of nutrient more than M1. ठीक है, and they are talking about 62 से ज्यादा कितने ऐसे थे जिसको आएगा. So it was basically P1, P2, C1, C2 ये चारों ही आए थे. जहां तक मुझे याद है इसका आंसर 4 था. M2 did not turn out to be more than 62. Or did it? 7, 16 कितना हो गया? 23, and we needed 12, 35, 65. तो 5 रहे होंगे. 5. ये 65 ये 12 back. Second question was M2 में grams
So a lot of students are asking
protein.
about the AC set. Guys, we've put the questions there. We don't remember the options. So you all need to come out with the options to help us understand what the options were so that we can go ahead and talk a little bit more about it. Without that, it's going to be a little difficult. Hence, we're unable to go ahead and discuss the AC set further.
Lots of also theta tha, a lot of theta for the AC questions.
अच्छा तो वो questions that is why answers याद नहीं है. We can't sit and remember everything. It's not possible. If you remember your answers, put it in. We'll let you all know कि वो हम लोग का आ रहा था कि नहीं आ रहा था. That's about it.
Okay. I'm back. Okay, I'm back.
Naveen, you'll have to share again.
हाँ.
Sumant is saying multiple of 5 was there, Naveen, in this set somewhere.
हाँ, एक multiple of 5 था, एक multiple of 4 था.
Carbohydrates
were a column multiple of 5 था.
Everything else is multiple of 4.
बाकी everything else is multiples of 4. And that's what makes the carbohydrate column very easy to fill.
यहाँ
M2
पे
का
तो कार्बोहाइड्रेट वाले पे 62 56
नहीं,
66 that's
missing values,
No, missing वाला डेटा जो डेटा है
62 was
in
given
the
well.
got
missing
it.
वाला column.
So guys, red में what is given was data which was already present in the set, and black में is what Naveen is putting in. So that is why वो 65 जो है वो divisible by 3 है, and first question का answer 45 है. To those of you who are confused.
The first answer 5 है. There were 5 such
Sorry, 5 है. Yeah.
5 such food grains जिनका more than 62 था. M2 में grams of protein was asked out of 100 gram. So M2 का तो हमने अभी भी निकाल लिया. ये तो 12 आया. Third one was M3 में others कितना था? M3 का ये वैल्यू निकालना था. So this was basically 56 है. We need 44. 44 में 12 है and we needed a value less than 14. So जहां तक मुझे याद है it was 8 and this was 24. जहां तक मुझे याद है.
I think जहाँ पे थोड़ा इफी वाला है ना छोड़ दे, because जब तक रेस्पॉन्स शीट नहीं आएगा पूरा नहीं आएगा. मुझे याद नहीं है numbers, right? So I think
and last question
maybe I
was
think
हाँ बोलिए.
this was one, then there was a OTT, then there was a GDP वाला.
GDP wala students are asking, so if we can just go ahead after this GDP wala, can we just give the answer key, just the question and the answer? We don't need to solve the entire thing.
ठीक है. ये median number of grams वाला जो था of protein, it was the answer was 12. ये guarantee है. 12 था. So
This was 12. Okay.
दो values were 12.
Median was 12, Tarush. Median was 12, guys. So that's perfect. Let's just move to the last set, which is the ATM. Naveen, if ATM, if you just remember the questions, the question ये था first वाला, उसका ये answer है types.
Okay. ATM.
ATM and GDP. ATM हो चुका है? ATM, I think we did. I think उस पहला वाला जो था.
नहीं, this was kids. वो OTT था ये.
So OTT we've done already. So ATM and GDP to go.
ATM was basically this, and there are 9 such points, out of which only 6 places we have got ATMs. और इसमें values given थे. Don't remember the values. I don't have the questions as well as of now.
Okay, not a problem. Do we have the GDP one? Because students are asking for GDP.
हाँ, GDP का question.
Guys, this is all memory based, so whatever we could remember, we've remembered. LRDI में 3 set याद रख पाए, quant में almost सब याद रख पाए. So you all can also go ahead if you remember the questions. Just go ahead. ATM का there is some 7, 8, 9, 11, 12, 15 ATM set Abhiram is saying. We don't remember much of it at this point in time. But what we'll straight away jump to then is just taking you through what the expected cutoff could be, because a lot of y'all are going ahead and asking about that, and we'll get a little deeper into this in the consolidated analysis as well. From the perspective of the 3 slots that we've seen, it seems like slot 3 and slot 1 were very, very similar. It seems that a 99 percentile in slot 3 might be close to a 90 to 92 mark, which is very, very similar to what we saw in slot 1. DILR hovering somewhere around the 28 to 30 के आसपास, quant somewhere in the same vicinity around 29 to 31, and VARC around 42 to 44. So that's basically what we feel in terms of cutoffs. For y'all at this point in time, what is it that y'all should do so that we are able to go ahead and estimate a little better and give y'all a better understanding of what you could go ahead and expect in terms of your percentile? Please go to careerlauncher.com/cat. Fill in the data so that we are able to go ahead and estimate what your percentiles would be and tell you a little bit more about it. Also, for those of you for whom CAT has gone off well, you expect you'll score a 65-70 plus, please start your PDP ASAP, your GDPI program. Go ahead and enroll in it. Also, I'm sure many of y'all are looking at SNAP, NMAT, you're also going ahead and looking at ZAT. So we have non-CAT online classes as well for the same. So go ahead and have a look at that. I'll just pick up 2 questions before I end this. One question is, were there cases in the ATM set? Koi cases the Naveen? Ki one case?
मेरे को एक ही केस बना था.
Only one case for Naveen. Rohit,
One
we don't
case?
remember the GDP answers.
नहीं, one case as in actually if I pick this, so this was, as far as I remember, it was 21 minus x, yeah, x था, कुछ था उधर, depending upon where I took it, and it was given that this was the second largest. The largest we knew was 15. So the x can take a lot of values, but the placing of the ATMs were fixed.
So it was fixed. So no cases. Marmik is also agreeing. I'll pick up Piyush's question. Sir, my quant went really bad. It is not really, I'm unsure what happened. The first time I panicked during exam, VRC DRI went, what do I do from here? You can't do much about it. It went bad. Be hopeful that you'll at least get about 5-6 questions correct and you can clear the sectional cutoff. You have a good chance then of hopefully getting some calls, but forget about it. Take a day off tomorrow. Focus on the upcoming exams. You've got SNAP, you've got NMAT, you've got ZAT. You'll be writing at least 1 or 2 of these, if not all. So please go ahead and focus on that. That is what is going to be important at this point in time. Forget it. Pooja, we don't remember the ATM sets. We don't remember the ATM and the GDP set. We don't remember the questions or the answers. So we will not be able to.
GDP, I remember some of the questions and I remember the values. Ek do ke. So basically what was there, the ones that I have marked red, those are not the exact values, but it was given that GDP is based on country 9 ke GDP ke terms mein. So everything was in, like, let's say 0.14, 0.16, 0.17 types. So if I take country 9 as 100, it was 14, 16, 17 aise tha. GDP per capita was based on country 10. Country 9, country 10 ka koi data nahi tha. And these values were very smaller, 0.07, 0.09, aise karke tha. GDP percentage increase was 4 or 5 of the values were negative. Every other value was positive. So it was like minus 0.2%, minus 0.5% types tha. And population increase was always smaller than corresponding GDP percentage increase. So agar, let's say country 1 ka GDP percent increase was 0.2%, population was 0.01%. Itna hi increase hua tha. So the questions that they were asking, they were not calculative. Ek shayad calculative tha. Everything else was common sense based. For example, the last question that I attempted in this set was, for how many years, this was, let's say 2023 ka agar given, I don't remember the year. So 2027, they said that for 3 years, the percentage changes remained the same throughout every year, annual. So 2027, which year GDP was smaller than 2023 का GDP. So the thing is, GDP का percentage increase जो है बढ़ रहा था और population जो है relatively उतना नहीं बढ़ रहा था. So if I look at GDP per capita, so I'm saying numerator was increasing and denominator was not increasing to that extent. Right? Population was not increasing. So उस sense में जब आपका numerator ज़्यादा बढ़ रहा है, denominator बढ़ नहीं रहा है, तो overall value बढ़ती ही चली जाएगी. So there was not a single country for which GDP in 2027, GDP per capita in 2027 was lesser than GDP in 2023. So common sense based, no calculation whatsoever. There was though one question which was calculation based. It was, I believe, for country 4 or country 5 or country 7. They have asked us 2026 ka GDP per capita was closest to. So it tends to, or closest to which number? इसका आंसर जो मुझे आया था, I think it was 1 point था या 0.19 था. So it was basically 1.2 into 1.02 upon 1.07 का square. I think this was the calculation. Either it was 0.2 or 0.5. So this was the question where I had to use calculator in DI. Quant में question में करना पड़ा, DI में इसमें करना पड़ा. So there were 2 options which were less than 1. That was not the answer. This was closest to 1, but a little more than that. That was the answer for this question. तो मुझे ये दो क्वेश्चंस याद है जीडीपी वाले के, जो एक लॉजिकल थे, एक कैलकुलेटिव थे.
So that's all that we remember, guys, at this point in time. We don't remember the ATM set. Naveen had solved it, but we don't remember. We don't have it written with us. So these are the questions that we remember from slot 3. We'll catch you with the consolidated analysis at 9:30, where we will discuss all 3 slots. At the end of the day, it's not important कि answer क्या था. At the end of the day, it's going to be important कि मेरा expected percentile क्या आएगा. So we will catch you at 9:30 with respect to what the expected cutoffs for the 3 sections are. And what the expected cutoffs across the 3 slots are. So catch you at 9:30 for that. For now, bye-bye. Go ahead, have your dinner and join us at 9:30. See ya.
Okay. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Thanks. And thanks for this, Tarush. Thanks a lot.